Microbrands have come a long way. Once dismissed as Kickstarter experiments, some are now making watches that can hold their own against established players. Enter the Alcadus Voyager GMT, a Worldtimer from a brand that's been quietly gaining traction in the enthusiast community for the past couple of years. But does it live up to the hype? And more importantly, is it worth your money? Let's find out. If you're new here, welcome. You're right on time. My name is Galen, a watch enthusiast, and my goal here on this channel is to help you make your next watch purchase the right one. Today we'll be doing a deep dive into the Voyager from Alcadus, the latest release from this Malaysian microbrand. It's got the specs, the looks, and a really great price point to compete in. But in a world filled with affordable GMTs and Worldtimers, does it really stand out, or will it get lost in the crowd? Without further ado, let's really get straight into it. For those not in the know, Alcadus is a Malaysian microbrand founded by Liu Yukhong, a self-proclaimed Seiko modding enthusiast who took the leap into designing and producing his own watches. While Alcadus offers a lineup of sub $1,000 watches, covering the so-called holy trinity of dress, dive, and everyday wear, it's the Quantra, a 36mm small seconds dress watch with a micro rotor movement that has truly captured the watch enthusiast community's attention, judging by the coverage in mainstream publications. The latest released, the Voyager, is the culmination of Yukhong's 2-year vision, an affordable Worldtimer in a single, limited run of 200 pieces, all featuring a sleek piano black dial. But with stiff competition in this price range from both established brands and microbrands, how does the Voyager hold up? Let's take a closer look. The packaging is minimalist. Just a plain cardboard box sealed with Alcadus branded tape. Inside, you'll find 3 inserts, 2 postcards showcasing other Alcadus models, and a basic instruction manual for the Voyager. Surprisingly, the manual doesn't explain how to use the Worldtime bezel, arguably its standout feature. The package also includes a compact carry case for the extra strap and a small leather carrier. Simple, but with some thoughtful extras as a whole. The Voyager measures 39.5mm in diameter, 13.5mm thick, including a slightly domed sapphire crystal with 5 layers of AR coating, and has a lug-to-lug of 46mm with a standard 20mm lug width. Very much thankfully. The case is reinforced with a scratch-resistant coating, supposedly 4 times harder than stainless steel. I haven't tested this myself, nor do I plan to, but given its satinized finish, it should resist scratches decently, unless of course you decide to toss it around. On a quick release leather strap, it weighs in at 84 grams, while the included bracelet tips the scale at about 140 grams. The watch features a screw-down crown and solid case back, with a laser-engraved globe, along with key details, including a rather surprising 200 meters of water resistance. Kind of unusual for a non-dive watch, but certainly a welcome feature for those considering this as a tool watch. The case is predominantly brushed, with polished chamfers on the lugs that slope down dramatically, improving wearability on thinner wrists like my own. That said, while the Voyager's dimensions seem pretty well balanced on paper, its case height makes it feel a little bit top-heavy. Compared to my Longines Spirit Zulu Time, which shares the same thickness but has a slightly smaller case size in 38mm, the Voyager feels, a tad unbalanced on my wrist. However, those with larger wrists should find it a lot more proportional. The screw-down crown at 3 o'clock has a polished finish, with ridges for grip, and is easy to operate. More on that later. What sets a Worldtimer apart from a typical 3-hander or GMT is of course the bezel. The Voyager features a unidirectional Worldtime bezel with fish scale-like edges, made from a glossy ceramic outer ring and a brushed stainless steel inner ring, each displaying major cities. A white baton marker at Kuala Lumpur nods to Alcadus' Malaysian roots. The chapter ring features a 24-hour scale, allowing you to track up to 3 time zones in tandem with the GMT hand and home hour. Alcadus has made an interesting choice with the dial design, opting for a high-gloss, lacquered black finish paired with applied, dive-style indices filled with Swiss Super Luminova, perhaps a nod to its dive watch origins. The framed date window is also tastefully positioned at 6 o'clock, where frankly all date windows should be. Yes, I did say that. Branding and the Voyager name are printed, while the hands include loomed sword-style hour and minute hands, an orange tipped needle seconds hand, and a matching orange arrowhead GMT hand. Compared to other Worldtimers, the Voyager is refreshingly clean, avoiding the overcomplicated designs of some competitors. The bezel is also straightforward and functional, rather than an artistic interpretation of a world atlas. Powering the Voyager is the Miyota 9075 Traveler's GMT movement, beating at 28,800 beats per hour or 4 Hz, with a 42-hour power reserve. Alcadus claims to have regulated the movement, and based on my time grapher readings, I'm inclined to agree. Since it is a Traveler's GMT, the local hour hand can be adjusted independently, making time zone changes an absolute breeze. The GMT hand is meant to track home time, serving as your timekeeping anchor while traveling. To use the world time bezel, set the GMT hand to your local time, then rotate the bezel to align your home city or the closest approximation to it. Once set, the bezel allows you to track the time in any of the major cities. Since I'm in Sydney and it's daylight saving time, I've adjusted the bezel 1 hour ahead, and then confirming that both KL or Kuala Lumpur and Singapore are indeed 3 hours behind. The bezel action is crisp, with a satisfying mechanical click, and aligns perfectly with the chapter ring. Testament to the attention to detail. The Voyager's Lume is impressively implied to the hands, indices, date window, the ceramic portion of the world-time bezel, and rather oddly, even the Alcadus branding on the crown. The lacquer dial also reflects the Lume, creating an interesting effect, though arguably one with some drawbacks, which I'll get to. The watch comes with a flat link bracelet and a complimentary nubuck leather strap. I picked the grey one, and it's really not much to talk about. But the bracelet, now that's worth exploring in a little bit more detail. The quick release flat link bracelet tapers from 20mm to 16mm at the clasp and features a functional, easy to use adjustment system. The first I've handled of its kind, and really it's a joy to use. The bracelet is fully brushed to match the case and has screwed pins for ease of resizing. Flexibility and really articulation is quite good, so you don't really have to worry about any kind of hair pulling here. That said, the sharp edges on every link makes it a little bit less comfortable than it should be, and it did cause it to catch on my clothing, which is, frankly speaking, a design oversight that could have been easily addressed. Now, versatility is key. I want my watches to adapt to different settings and not just sit in the watch box waiting for a perfect occasion. And in that regard, the Voyager does deliver. With 200 meters of water resistance, I'd have absolutely no hesitation throwing it on a rubber strap for a swim. On its steel bracelet, it nails that all-around sporty, everyday look. And while you could dress it up with a leather strap for more formal occasions, I'd argue that its largely brushed surfaces make it feel a lot more at home in casual or adventure-ready setups. The muted, almost monochromatic color scheme works in its favor here, making strap changes an absolute breeze. I've personally enjoyed wearing it on my own FKM rubber strap or a NATO for a more rugged tool watch aesthetic. That said, the steel bracelet remains my top choice. It just feels right on the watch. An embossed leather strap though, that's where things start to feel more than a little mismatch. For all its strengths, the Voyager isn't without its flaws. First, I'd say the major issue is that high gloss black dial. While it certainly looks stunning, it does reflect light quite aggressively, creating glare that undermines the anti-reflective coating on that sapphire crystal. This happens under both natural and artificial lighting, making legibility suffer in certain conditions. For something that's decidedly toolish in aesthetic, the Voyager would have been better served with a matte dial, perhaps with a splash of texture to maintain its visual interest. Second, those dive style indices. While I appreciate the effort to maintain brand continuity, the combination of these indices of the glossy black dial feels somewhat uninspired. Roman or Arabic numerals and a slightly thinner handset could have added a touch of sophistication and really made the watch feel more balanced and versatile. But that's just my 2 cents. Despite its quirks, the Voyager is nearly unmatched at $750. A well-built automatic Worldtimer with a traveler's GMT movement, solid specifications, and a 5-year warranty to boot. Its closest rival, the St. Martin SN0112G, one of the few original designs from an AliExpress brand. At between $300 to $350, it's nearly half the price of the Voyager while offering similar case proportions, finishing, and aesthetics. But it runs on a Seiko NH34 collar GMT movement, meaning that the GMT hand, and not the local hour, moves independently, making it less practical for true travelers. Having said that, what does that extra $350 difference actually get you if you were to purchase the Voyager? Well, first of all, it's that true GMT movement. Second, that sharper case finishing and a much more refined design. Third, a dial, a pretty unique one at that, with better depth and execution, I would argue. A crisper Worldtimer bezel action, much smoother crown, and an overall superior user experience. And last but not least, that tested 200 meters of water resistance, a longer warranty, and frankly speaking, a much stronger brand identity. If you want a solid budget Worldtimer though, the St. Martin is pretty hard to beat. But if you're after something more refined, balanced, and genuinely travel-ready, the Voyager does make a pretty compelling case. Does it punch above its weight? Coming in at just under $1,000, it does face serious competition in the Mido Ocean Star Decompression Worldtimer, bringing a Swiss movement and diving heritage, but dials up the visual chaos. Stretch your budget a little bit more to about $1,500, and the Pharaoh Worldtimer offers superior refinement, finishing, and movement quality. All that said, where the Voyager stands out is how it delivers true Worldtimer functionality, really solid specifications, and a clean, well thought out design at a price point that undercuts much of the competition, which really proves that you don't need to spend a fortune to get a capable, stylish, and highly functional travel watch. But what do you think? Is the Voyager yet another hit for Alcadus or a pass? Did I potentially miss a better sub $1,000 Worldtimer? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Cheers, and see you for the next one.